This is a true story that happened to me a long while ago when I was 10 years old. This story happened in a small town in the leafy suburbs north of New York City in Westchester County. It didn't happen at my house, but at the house of one of my good friends at the time, about a walking block away from where I live. This is one of those towns in Westchester where there are huge suburban houses set among oak and maple trees. It was a safe neighborhood where I knew the owners of each house by name. The houses were generally quite large, with multiple floors and several bedrooms. The house where this story takes place was extra large. It was not the shining hotel lodge, but it was a large colonial house with 5 bedrooms on the second level. The family living there had 5 children ranging from 10 to the upper teenage years at that time. The night this happened, it was a cold and dark night. The parents were out with dinner plans that evening, and I was there visiting my friend Byron, who was also 10, and his older brother Jacob, who was 12. These are not their names in real life. It was just the 3 of us in one large house on a dark night during October. I knew this family quite well, so felt very at home in their house. We were just goofing around at that night, playing some games and watching TV. 3 kids in a large empty house. So, this is where the night becomes creepy. The 3 of us were in the kitchen with the lights on bright. It was around 11:30 at night, so it was late, but not super late. The phone rang, and Jacob, acting as head of the household at 12 years old, answered, "Hello?" We then saw Jacob get a peculiar look on his face and hesitantly said, "Just a minute," and then did something a bit odd. He rested the phone down on a chair. This was one of those wall phones from the 1990s. I don't think people still use those in 2018, but in any case, he put the phone down and just left it to walk upstairs. I remember thinking it was a strange thing to do, but still could have a reasonable explanation. I looked at Byron, and he also had a curious what the fuck type of expression on his face. We were quiet for a few seconds, and both of our facial expressions showed signs that we thought this was peculiar and odd. In a few moments, Jacob's going to be running down the stairs in a panic, screaming for all of us to get out the house immediately. But before we get to that part, here's what happened upstairs. Jacob climbed the stairs and went into his parents' room, where there was a tabletop telephone. This is one of those old corded phones, where you pick the receiver up and hold it to your ear. Not exactly an iPhone 10, and there was no way to know who was calling. Jacob picked up the phone and said, "Okay, I'm upstairs. What's up?" A few moments went by with dead silence, and Jacob asked, "Hello?" Then the voice came in. It was calm, but cold. "Jacob, there's a bomb inside your house, and it's going to blow any second now." Click. The other end had hung up. He dropped the phone and felt panic rush through his body. He ran out of the bedroom, down the stairs, and started screaming, "Get out of the house. There's a bomb in the house. There's a bomb in the house." We saw Jacob at the bottom of the stairs running, and he did not waste any time heading straight towards the foyer and outside and down the stone path that leads away from the house and out of the street. Byron and I ran with confused fury also. Jacob stopped running when he arrived at the other side of the street on the sidewalk. We looked across the street at this huge house, looking very eerie on a dark night. The house had several lights on, and the front door was open, and it was empty. There was no one around. The neighborhood was quiet and still. It was just us, 3 kids, the oldest 12 years old, standing there on a cold October night, almost midnight, scared out of our wits, and waiting for the house to burst into fire. I was feeling chills through my body, and chills on my skin from the cold, dark air. Our jackets were just in there, and we could have gotten them so easily, but I thought the house could blow up at any second. Jacob explained what happened on the phone call upstairs, and that he thought it was his Uncle Jerry, but now didn't think it was his Uncle Jerry. It was bizarre that the caller knew he answered on the ground floor and told him to go upstairs. How could he know this? We thought that maybe he told Jacob to go upstairs so that he wouldn't have enough time to get out of the house before the possible explosion. We stood there, we waited, we were scared, we were cold. We thought the large, boxy, empty, illuminated house in the dark night would soon be in flames. Or that there was a chance it would be in flames. It never blew up, but we were still afraid to go inside, because maybe it would blow up then. Eventually, we went to the neighbour's house. The father there didn't seem as scared as we were, but he did call the police. But the police searched through the house, and Byron and Jacob's parents also arrived home. The whole thing was some kind of practical joke, a prank call, and there was never a bomb. We never found out who made the call, and Jacob to this day still has no idea who it could have been, and still says that he, at first, thought it was a friendly call from his uncle. There are a few pranksters in this neighbourhood. Actually, we were among the biggest pranksters in the neighbourhood. Still, doesn't explain how the caller knew Jacob was on the downstairs phone, and that there was an upstairs telephone. And further, it seems like the caller knew who was speaking to. Who would do such a prank that is so sinister to a few vulnerable kids home on such a night?